Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Uh, Inshallah, I'll try to record this second part today. How I become Muslim, how it's happened, and yeah, let's start. So, yesterday in the part number 1, I said that, or I stop actually at the point where I find after 1 year the Muslim. Sorry, I was looking for nearly 1 year for Muslims in my city, and then so yeah, I was going for once in the week for the IT classes, and there by using computer and internet I found what it was called, like Polish Muslim community, or Polish Muslim association, something like that. And on their website it says it was information that with the address of prayer room, which was located in or at Muslim Association building or something like that. Also, again, I don't remember exactly. Obviously, this was like now more than 18 years ago, so I don't remember that details. But I went there because obviously I know that it was information that every Friday Muslims are gathering there for the prayer, for the Jummah. So I went there, and yeah, this was like quite high buildings. It was, I think, like 7 or 8 floor. So I went there, and obviously you can imagine it was like after 1 year. So as I said, I started reading about Islam when I was like 13. So so I was at that time, I think, 14. I was at that time 14, around 14 years old. And yeah, so when I went there, obviously when I when I opened the doors and I see Muslims praying and this and that, and even it was, like I said, the student association, there was obviously coming other Muslims from the city to pray, because at that point there was no any like large or big place of worship for Muslims in the city. So at that point when I went there, the average of the people sitting there or praying, it was like people like around 40 years old, even maybe 50. So obviously I was quite like shy, 14 years old boy, to see these people. Obviously I don't know anyone there, so I just opened the door, I just looked at these people, and I just went back. And but obviously I didn't give it up. I was just like happy I find the place where Muslims are in my city, so I could talk to someone. I still feel like to talk to someone at that time. So again, when it's came to the next this IT classes or lesson, I went there, and when I can use computer and internet, I again research, and then I found number to someone, like I think it was written that time, it was imam from my city, or someone who was like the head of the Muslim community, like center or some Islamic center, something like that. And I called them, and obviously I said that I'm interested in Islam, and just would like to meet some Muslims, and I would like to learn Arabic language and things like that. So they told me that once every once in the week, on every Saturday, there is some meetings in the school, it was primary school, because the schools in Poland, they open from Monday to Friday, so obviously on the weekends they are closed. So on the weekends, often some organizations or some associations, they rent room or two, and then obviously the schools, they're earning from this, and these associations, they can rent cheap space, for some classes, like whether it's some karate classes, or is, like in this case, some Arabic lessons, and some Islamic center. So they were renting there. Unfortunately, it was like I think 40 minutes by public transport from my home, so it was quite far. It was like on the other, let's say, on the other side of the city. But yeah, so I went there, and then obviously I find out that there is like children that their parents, they were obviously Muslims, and obviously the children, they were also Muslims. But what I mean to say, it was like mixed marriages, families. So like it was children that mostly their fathers, they were from like Arabic countries. So obviously they speak very well Polish, because they born in Poland, these children, and they were going to Polish schools. So I started attending those classes. I was very excited, because obviously I was feeling that I can learn some like kind of proper Arabic language, and then obviously on the top of that I want to meet Muslims. So that was my another point. Yeah, so I start going there, and then again after like nearly a year, or after another year, when for 1 year I was continuously going there every Saturday. They told me that there is what I think mentioned in the part number 1. They told me that once in the year, in summers, there is this association is organizing some summer camps where all Muslims from all around Poland, they can go there, and and obviously it was, I think, just for 3 days. It was like very short camp. And then they say like on the first day some like kind of games for children, on the second day some lectures. Each year they invite different person to give some lecture, and on the third day again it was something else. So obviously first I asked my mom, because we were not living with our father. So I asked my mom. I was very excited. I say, can I go? And she says, yeah, obviously go, but obviously just be careful, this and that. And she says she want to first meet the people that obviously they're organizing this, so she's aware with whom I'm going. And yeah, so I went there. This was 2006, and yeah, and basically on that Muslim camp or Islamic camp, you can call it the summer camp, on second day I took my shahada. So basically I was living like the rooms, there were like 2 or 3 people living in one room. So like in our case it was me and 2 other guys also from my city, which one of them was named Kamil. He was Polish revert, the same as me now obviously. And the other guy, it was his name was Ahmed, and he was from Tunisia. He was student. He was studying at that time in our city. So we're all together in one room living, and or staying in one room. And yeah, so like basically how it happened, it was, I remember very well, it was, I think, Maghrib time, the prayer time. And obviously we're just talking, chatting, discussing. They were asking me, like how you find about Islam, where did you read for the first time? Because obviously they were very like amazed that I was just, at that point I was just 15. So they thought, this 15 years old boy, and obviously none of my parents, they were Muslims, so that was even more like kind of amazing for them. So yeah, so we talked a little bit, and then when you start prayer time, then obviously they pray, and then after they finish, and when it's the prayer time, obviously they get ready, everything. And then I thought to myself that obviously I like this prayer, how Muslims they're praying. That time I was watching in that prayer room, so I like it, and I know. And at that point also I find some short videos on internet or something like that. And I just told them that I would like to pray with you. So obviously they were a bit surprised, but obviously I don't know even how to pray and anything. I was just basically copying them, but I was like very excited to let me to pray with them. And obviously I was feeling like excited. Basically it was something new for me, and obviously because like for almost like 1 year at that point I was already reading a bit about Islam. So yeah, so what happened is yeah, hopefully it didn't interrupt because I have just some call. But yeah, so basically, so they let me pray. I prayed with them, and after the prayer we again we sat, they were doing dhikr, which is on the fingers, or and I told them that I would like to become Muslim, how I can become Muslim. So obviously they were even more excited, more happy, but they were obviously also again a bit shocked. And they told me obviously that I have to say Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. And so yeah, so what happened is they told me to repeat the Shahada, and that's how I become Muslim. So when I went back from this Muslim camp, then then at that point I I start praying, obviously learning how to pray. First of all, in the first days or even weeks when I was praying, I was just holding the piece of paper, and from internet I just write down the Surah Al-Fatiha, and just like not in Arabic obviously, I don't know at that point how to write in Arabic, but I was just write like with the Latin alphabet, and so I can just read. And yeah, and so I start praying, and obviously it was a bit funny situation because to be honest, I didn't obviously say straight like forward when I come back to my grandmother, because I was living with my grandmother and with my mother and with my brother as well. So I didn't tell to them that, you know, I changed the religion, that I become Muslim. So you know, it was the prayer time, and I've got also, I think as a gift, the prayer carpet or prayer mat, prayer carpet. So I went to my grandmother's room, because that time she was not in the room. So I went there and I hid, you know, opened the mat and I start praying. And at that point, my grandmother, she came to the room, and she was, you know, looking at me, because obviously she don't know what's that. And when I finished, she asked me, she says, oh, "What is going on? What are you doing? Why are you, you know, bowing down? You know, what is this?" And so I said to her, because my grandmother, she was quite, you know, obviously nice person. She you know, she was not like kind of strict grandmother. I mean, she understands a lot of things. So I just said to her that, you know, obviously, as you know, I've been just on this Muslim camp, and you know, and I think I like this religion, and you know, I just said like that. You know, obviously I was 15, so I was like kind of describing, like, you know, like every, I think, teenager or something. So I said I was just on this Muslim camp, and you know, I would like to pray like this, and you know, and I think this is nice, you know, just like general things. I said like that. So she says, yeah, okay, you know, obviously it's your decision, but obviously you have to be careful, you know, because obviously she was just, when she says you have to be careful, she obviously just mean to say that, you know, I was just 15, and then she know that, you know, these people that I was meeting with, they were elder than me, you know, it's just simple. She, you know, she just want to take care of me. So so she says, yeah, you have to be careful, you know, and but yeah, if you are happy, then you can do it. So yeah, so I was happy that she quite quickly she accepted. Of course, because she don't know all the rules, and even myself, I don't know that time too much about the Islam. So, you know, when days come, you know, next days, then obviously, before I become Muslim, I have to say that I like actually, you know, as a child, I like to eat very much pork. So, and my grandmother, she know that. So when she started cooking the pork, I went to kitchen and I said, "Oh, what is today for the dinner?" So she says, "Yeah, I'm cooking, you know, what you like it, you know, this and this meat, you know." She give the name, and you know, it was pork. I said, "Look, listen, I can't now eat pork." So she says, "Oh, how is that?" She says, "You love pork, so how you how you don't want to eat pork?" So then I say, you know what, these people, you know, that you know, I become Muslim. I say I become Muslim recently. You know, I changed the religion. I say something like that, and I say, you know, these people that they were around me, you know, they told me just like briefly. They say, obviously, you can't eat pork and stuff like that. So I say, you know, so I can't. And so she said, but she didn't, again, she didn't get upset. She obviously a bit laughed, because she says, "Oh, you like pork, then maybe you will be missing." I said, no, I will be not missing. But she says, "No, maybe you will." But she says, "Okay, that's fine, then okay, that's okay." She says, "I will then cook something else for you." So yeah, so she cooked something else. And yeah, that's how it was basically. So yeah, so here I will finish, because I can see it's already 13 minutes. I thought it would be just 10 minutes, so it's even much longer than I thought. So yeah, that's fine. If you have any questions, or you want to follow me, you are most welcome. I'll be very happy actually if you follow me, because you know, this is like kind of my new project, and I thought that, you know, I want to kind of open myself to the people, you know, because I know still, even given that it's now 18 years, and now it's a lot of changes happen actually in Poland since I become Muslim, and obviously now I'm living in United Kingdom, but I still have contact with the Muslims in Poland, and obviously myself, I can search on internet and on the social media, so I know that now there's, after 18 years, is maybe like 10 mosques or something. I mean, when I say mosque, it's not like proper with the minaret, that we have maybe just 2 or 3 till now, but like, you know, prayer rooms and Islamic centers. So like all together, you can say it's like 10 or even maybe 20, I could say, places of worship for Muslims in Poland. So you can imagine 18 years ago when I became Muslim, it was maybe like 5 or 6 in whole country. So now when it's like 20, it's a bit progress, alhamdulillah. But yeah, but there is some changes. Obviously, there is some, you know, halal shops and this and that. Obviously, not at the same great number like here in United Kingdom or in Germany or in any other countries in Europe or in the West. But it is a bit more. Yeah. So there is a bit now changes in Poland since that. Alhamdulillah. Yeah. So if you have any questions or anything, just follow or, you know, subscribe on the YouTube. I have also a YouTube channel. It's actually the same name, T2 Daily, I think. Yeah, T2 Daily. And that's it. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.